Welcome to our third day in the Advent series and the topic of waiting. Waiting. Let me read to you the passage that was in the newsletter so you can take a look at it. And this will be sent out again, as always. There she is. So this comes from a gospel perhaps written by a person whose name is Luke. And there was a prophetess, Anna, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was advanced in years, having lived with her husband 7 years from when she was a virgin, and then as a widow until she was 84. She did not depart from the temple. With fasting and prayer, she worshiped night and day. And coming up at the very hour, she began to give thanks to God and to speak of this young baby Jesus to all who were waiting for the redemption of Jerusalem. This is from a passage that is in record in Luke chapter 2, as I mentioned, when Jesus was taken to be presented in the temple as a baby. And I think she's a pretty remarkable example of waiting. So at some point early on in her life, she received a prophetic call. And that call was to wait in hope, in devotion, in anticipation of a specific moment that, in her understanding, would happen during her own time. Now, this is all speculation on what her response was, what the caliber of her devotion was, when the call came, what she expected or what she didn't expect. So those are all details we really don't know, and I can't go upon as a theologian. And I'm really wanting to extract from it a really sweet example here of waiting. Her waiting, as indicated, I think, by her name, was full of presence. Think about when you're waiting for something. Do you wait unceasingly in a state that is replete with presence? Or do you sometimes wait and want to grasp after or want to stop and end the waiting? It says that she worshiped day and night. She was fasting day and night, which to me is a lovely example of what it would be to be caught up in the waiting. And in her name, we've got this wonderful situation in a lineage, in a Hebrew lineage of individuals, going back to Hannah, when Hannah presented her son Samuel, who's beloved of God. So she's in this lineage that worship and devotion and presentation in a temple, that they're all really powerful forms of realization. She comes from that understanding. And she comes from she is the daughter of Phanuel, and Phanuel means the face of God, which to me shines a light that she must have been someone that was radiant with presence. And in the wholehearted, unceasing devotion of her waiting, she was fashioned. She was formed, she was crafted in her waiting to have a delicate discernment that she knew immediately when the fulfillment of what she was waiting for happened. And it's a great opportunity for us to look. Does our waiting fashion us? Does it bring us to a place of greater wholeness, greater peace, greater hope that is undaunted, greater confidence, so that we are skillfully fashioned to recognize the moments as they come before us and know what these moments are. Because in this example of this story in this temple, not everyone was recognizing this individual that represented so much. But she recognized it at 84 years old and had the deep satisfaction that came because of the delicate discernment that she had been crafted in. You know, I was driving this morning. I'm in Hays, Kansas right now in an amazing library. And I drove from St. Louis. I started at 4:15 this morning. It's 3 Mountain Time, as you well know, and I've got 5 more hours to go. But as I was driving, I tried to time my leaving from St. Louis to miss the traffic hour, the morning traffic hour in Kansas City, which is about 4 hours away. And wouldn't you know, I missed the beginning of it by just 15 minutes. Because as I was driving closer and closer to Kansas City, if you use GPS, you'll notice that when you're traveling along the line, it's a blue line when the coast is clear. So I'm traveling along, it's blue line all the way. And all of a sudden, I'm on the outskirts of Kansas City, and what starts popping up? Little yellow segments start popping up, which let me know that I got there just a little too late to fly through. I still made it through pretty quick, but nonetheless, I, was slowed down. Well, one of these times when I was slowed down, I was reflecting on our topic today, and it occurred to me that I was right amidst what I think one of the principal messages that I want to bring. I noticed when I was looking at the yellow line that I wasn't looking at the yellow line like I was trying to avoid it. I wasn't looking at the yellow line like I was already past it. I noticed that I was actually part of the yellow line. That because I was having to slow down and I was seeing the yellow lines increase, I'm like, wow, I'm actually part of this yellow line, which translated for me in the message that our waiting, our participation on all levels is part of an orchestration. Now, I'm offering this as an after meditation reflection. Do you believe that there is a divine plan? And if so, what is it to you? What is this divine plan? And do you believe that in that divine plan, there is a certain cosmic and eternal orchestration that's happening? Because if you do, I do. If you do, there are certain implications. And if you don't, there are certain implications. No better or no worse, no dogma. But it's nice to reflect on that. If we take her waiting as an understanding that part of the divine plan was this waiting, that her participation was important in its waiting quality, we have the meaning of the devotion and the attentiveness and the outpouring of herself in service in answering her call, which lets her awaken into the divine plan and lets her be aware that there is a plan happening. Now, you may ask, well, what if I don't believe there's a divine plan? Are we still part of an orchestration that's happening? Well, in a way, right? Because we are all part of a creation that is unfolding before us. So whether we're aware of our call in a divine plan, or whether we're aware that there is a call, but we're not sure what it is, or whether we're not certain we're aware of a call, we are still participating because the consciousness is coming into form. And part of coming into form is going from the unknowing into the knowing, the not experiencing yet into the experiencing of. Pretty phenomenal to reflect upon, because it allows us to rest into the mystery that is happening in our being and in our universe. I want to read a Radiant Sutra that I pulled for today to couple along with this reflection, because I think it drives home the message that I wanted to seed our meditation with. Worship does not mean offering flowers. It means offering your heart to the vast mystery of the universe. It means letting your heart pulse with the life of the universe without thought and without reservation. It means being so in love that you are willing to dissolve and be recreated in every moment. That last line really gets me. I don't know about you. It means being so in love that you are willing to dissolve and be recreated in every moment. That takes a tremendous amount of trust, an immense amount of surrender into the mystery, and an audacity that is part of your fulfillment. Because in doing that, in that being willing to dissolve and be recreated, even thought by thought, all the ways that you and I are not yet awakened into this realization, all of the ways can be dissolved with the thought, so that the recreation can be the experience of an awakened insight. So our meditation today is going to be the utilization of the heartbeat. And where I want to take us with it, or let us take us together with my words as the light guidance, is to allow us to rest into the ways that we have a waiting happening. So before we begin, I'm going to invite you to identify silently one way you're waiting for something that's a deep soul longing, not something that's not a soul longing. For instance, an unceasing state of inner peace, a mind that sees things truly as they are, and an understanding of what your call is in life in a deeper way. So these are deeper questions that arise that we wait to hear the answer. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow the collective to hold that open waiting in a generative and alchemical way. And secondly, I want to invite you to identify something you're waiting to happen for our world. What on a soul level do you feel a particular connection with and longing for our world? And it could be a simple phrase such as true world peace. But let it be real. Let it be something that truly is coming from deep within. So it's a personal waiting, and a personal waiting for our world. And then I'll guide with this heartbeat reflection that will then move into the heart chakra and bring us to a new place in the holding of the collective, so that this fulfillment can happen with greater grace and maybe a little speed too. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, I invite you to close your eyes. Remember, like a passage we've already had in Advent on the first day, that living your life fully, that you are an important part in the collective. Nothing is insignificant in your life or about you, and you have nowhere to go to realize this. So I invite you to bring your inward gaze to the region of the heart and the heart chakra and the chest. and feel, sense, or imagine the beating of your own heart. Bum, 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 bum. Come close and let all of your attention fall upon this heartbeat that is your very own. Notice with each pulse, with each heartbeat, that there is an impetus that we might call light or life force. There is a bump, there's a movement that happens energetically. And this light, this life force, is the eternal within you, is an ineffable light. Allow yourself to be aware of this light of your heartbeat, amplifying to fill your entire physical body. And open your awareness to see this light, this life force, as effortlessly expanding beyond the physical body through your subtle energy, filling the space where you sit right now. And become aware that this light at the center of your heartbeat, it extends without your willing it beyond the room, out to all our participants and out to all creation. To each of us, each one of us here in this moment, and all creation. And in this heartbeat, this light, the center of your being, connects to all time, past, present, and future. And in this way of abiding together, we taste a quality that might be called oneness. And in that oneness, all is held and all is accomplished. I invite you to take your left hand and very slowly, watching it, let it come to rest on the center of the chest, slightly cupping. Watch the hand as it moves upon the chest. And release into the hand what you have identified that you are personally waiting for yourself. Release it into your left hand. And now very slowly pull the hand away and turn the palm upward. And release that waiting into the spaciousness and the container that we have created, that has been created through us. And now bring the palm back on top of the chest, slightly cupped. And let go from your heart what you are waiting for our world. And very slowly pull the hand away and turn the palm upward and release this waiting into the sacred container that we have created. And let the hand very gently come back to the lap. We sit in silence together, holding this rich, pulsing space. Washing the past, uplifting the present, fulfilling the future. And as we begin to bring this meditation to a close, to ground ourselves, I repeat the sutra words and invite you to let your eyes remain closed. Worship does not mean offering flowers. It means offering your heart to the vast mystery of the universe. It means letting your heart pulse with the life of the universe without thought and without reservation. It means being so in love that you are willing to dissolve and be recreated in every moment. And very gently bring the inward gaze back to your body, sitting on a chair or a cushion in the room where you find yourself. And let the palms set upon the thighs and just very gently rub them back and forth, allowing the physical body to integrate the expansion we just opened. And let the palms come to rest. Let a smile form upon your lips. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Great to be with you all. See you tomorrow.